Right. In this episode, we are joined by Anna Green, class of 2014. Anna, how are you?
I'm all right. A while since I'm new in the school. I'm doing good.
Good deal. All right. So I want you to think back a million years ago. You were in middle school. Why'd you decide to choose to attend early college?
So I was presented with a couple of different options when I was in eighth grade last year in middle school. I was offered, on one hand, the Scholars Academy, and then there was this new program that my counselor called Early College, and they ended. I remember filling out the application and by, and that was before Early College actually had its building, so I remember a shared campus thing, and I remember through the interview process, and they told that considering my kind of background, which is first generation college student and have financial difficulties, that early college would be a good option. I remember having uh, I actually had kind of fun with the interview process. It was nerve-wracking, but I remember coming. I really liked the school felt so. I was really cool that I get in. I decided to go for that, especially over regular high school, because I hadn't really and going to traditional school, or rather, I guess the larger schools in the area would have gone to Sauk High School, which I wasn't keen on. But I remember going through the application process and going to the orientation and getting invited to kind of like the pre school events. I really liked the way it felt. Decided to go with it. I did.
Love it. Good reason to come. All right. So you come to early college, and who was your advisor? Was it Miss Lore?
It was Miss Lord.
All right. Describe your advisory experience.
I think Miss Lord was a really good advisor. I remember in particular, she encouraged us to do a lot of after school activity. We were encouraged to go out and do chair work. I remember meeting up with, my advisee. We did blank making. We did a lot of communication, kind of what we were all going through and kind of the we'd like to see back. Um, we did the hackathon. We each cleanups together and just kind of working on our personal growth outside of school.
Love it. And she's very demanding. She has very high expectations. And as I recall, that advisory was full of rock stars. You guys had a really strong advisory. I'd forgotten about the Packathon. That was a good time. Got to wear a hairnet and everything.
Yep, I think it was we were packing for that first time, and that was a lot of fun too. We were there for a few hours, but going through and all the meals. Um, I remember everybody going out for the sweep, and that was fun too. Um, you'll find interesting things when you clean, the at the state park. But and then teaching us how the blanket list that we um, donated. Um, Miss was very she did have high standards, with sometimes, but really, I think she wanted us to do the best we could. And I remember going through individual growth plan we had where we had our little things and kind of through our presentations, our goals we're working to it and that kind of thing, which was cool for us planning for our future.
Got it. All right. So you do the early college thing. What did you major in at Tech?
And I did college. I think I am just getting my basic associate. I graduated early college. I already had my associate degree. I graduated, it was about the same time. I transferred into coastal. I already had 2 years of school under my belt.
Nice. So you graduate in May from Tech, you graduate from early college in June, then you're off
Mhm.
to Coastal. What'd you major in at Coastal?
I got my major in English language literature.
Gotcha. And how was your experience at Coastal?
I know I remember people worried that we'd already had our first years out of the way. I know sometimes there was a split between like maybe we missed some of the fresh experience. I know some people were kind of concerned about that. I'd say there was certainly a jump in difficulty between sophomore and junior year, but looking back, I think that was more so it's a combination of taking college classes at early college. You're still kind of high school as a base. You still go home at the end of the day versus in, especially if you on dorms like it is a different experience. It's a combination of just being an adult on top living away from potentially for the first time on top of these level difficult courses. You do go in sophomore junior level rather than the tech kind of program level.
Right.
And there's some experiences, like travel abroad and that nature. Most people do on doing that in their undergrad years. But as I went straight to my higher grades, I didn't really do that. But I think at the time when I was younger, something I missed. But I can see, truthfully, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to really do those things anyway, because the financial setbacks I personally faced wouldn't have allowed me to do that. And it also allowed me to focus really on my upperclassmen courses and focus on the subject that I was passionate about. So because I got associate's degree away, I didn't really have to go and take all these courses that are kind of not relevant to my area and would have to be undergrad for 4 years. Completed my bachelor's degree 2 years later.
Gotcha. Makes sense. And it's always kind of going to be that challenge, right? Because we're asking you to make decisions at such an early age. Uh, so it's cool that we get you there faster, but there are always going to be a few new opportunities as a result of being a little bit younger than
Mm-hmm.
most of your classmates. Because, yeah, you're right. Here we are, and you're already in your major classes from the get-go. All right, so you graduate from Coastal, then what?
After graduated school, I ended up not immediately going to grad school. Ended up going into career work. Started working with energy in North Carolina in 2019. Up to that, I'd been doing kind of part time. I was kind of trying to help take care of the family and that. Which I finally in 2018, and I worked with energy, and I switched over to I'm currently caretaking. So I go to homes. I help take care of them, set throughout the day, take medication, things of that nature. I'm also currently enrolled in an MFA program. I finally into a graduating program.
Okay, very cool. Where are you working on that? What college?
I'm going online, going to Emerson. There's a lot of really good writing programs out there. A lot of them, like a lot of programs I found aged, are fully funded. And working towards those is, of course, a really smart idea for people who are starting younger. At the time, and was what was it to me, but it's going well. I think a 3.95 GPA. I'm working specifically fiction, novel, and publishing. So it's going really well. I've got a this coming up this year, so I'll be done with that. Hopefully into fall.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, and you're a pretty good writer. If I recall way back when, you were pretty accomplished there, and you decided to keep with that over the rest of education, which is awesome too. What advice would you give? Because I mean, there aren't a lot of people who are like, yeah, I want to be a writer. I want to continue that. What advice do you give that person who maybe is hearing a lot of the, oh, you should do something else, but they really love writing? What advice do you give them?
My advice is I think this goes for people who are very interested in art and because writing art. It is a career in its own, it's a job in right. And it's skill like everything else. And I'm he'll